All right, this is going to be part 2, man. You know, the title of this little sector is called Keep a Sword, man. Period, dog. Keep a sword, man. It just makes sense. Like, have some common sense, dog. Keep a sword. Keep a means of protection. Even the angels carry swords. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Because there's evil in this earth, dog. But that's going to be the title of this section. This is the part 2. So if you not have watched part 1, you know, I advise you to go ahead and watch part 1 of this Righteous Kill series, I guess. Lesson. That's more so appropriate. And so you have an understanding to be up to speed to where we at right now. But this is part 2, man. Keep a sword, man. Let's go to Matthew 10, verse 34. Think not that I come to send peace on the earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword, man. It ain't gonna be no peace. It ain't gonna be no everybody loving everybody. See, if you with that mind state, you're under deception. You're gonna wind up having a chip in your hand sooner than later, because that's gonna be the whole aura, the whole rhetoric of the New World Order. We're all the same. There's not black. There's not white. Let's all come together. Get this chip in our hands. You know, come on, dog. That don't even make sense. And Yahushua Mashiach said himself, he came not to send peace, but a sword, man. A division. What fellowship does light have with the darkness, man? I would never hold hands with Esau, man. I refuse his wine. You know what I'm saying? And that's the attitude that all of us gotta have. I don't give a damn about his holidays, man. I don't care about what the world do. We need to separate from the ways of the Gentiles, man. But we're going to continue. Let's go to Luke chapter 22, verse 36. Then said he unto them, but now he that hath a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrip. And he that hath no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one, man. If you got to sell your Jordans, if you into sneakers like that, if you got to sell, man, I don't care, man. You can get a pistol for $200. But the Taurus, Millennial, G2s, those are like around $200. Me personally, I suggest you get a pistol, a rifle, and a shotgun, man. And you can get all 3 for less than $1,000 of something reliable, you know. And even a sword. Like, I have a machete. I have a nice Gerber Gator. You know, I keep it very sharp, and because you never know, one day it might not be no ammunition, dog. You know what I'm saying? Shit, it's gonna be crazy out here, man. And you need to defend yourself. You have a right to do so. And why we gotta ask ourselves, you know, why did Yahushua say, "He that hath no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one"? Okay. The answer is right here in the next precept, Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 8. There's a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace, man. There's a time for war, man. And how can we be, and you know we're in a season of war. It's obvious we're in a season of war, man. That's what I'm saying. You gotta use your common sense, man. That's why I said this is gonna be a very controversial video, because some people say, oh, it's Esau's sword. Don't use Esau's. Man, it ain't goddamn Esau's sword, man. The angels got swords. The angels had, the angels, the left-hand angels taught man how to fashion swords. The sword was always it was always an ideology. It was always something. It was always there. It was something. The Lord created the sword. He's the one who gave the angels their swords. It's a knowledge of death, man. Why? Because Yahweh Shem Yahushai, what, is a man of war. And we went through that in the last video, man. So, you know, I don't really prescribe to the sword being Esau's sword. Granted, we're going to have spiritual swords. We're going to have the spiritual powers. But regardless, you know, it's just a wise thing, man, to have a means to protect yourself against the wicked, dog. Even on a carnal level. Because what? We live in the third dimension. We're physically here in this world. And supernatural things happen. And we're going to get into that. You know, I'm going to cover that. You know, I'm trying to hit this from every angle. That's why this video is going to have a little bit of length. But my battery is at 18%. So I'm going to get to rolling with it, okay? So the next part I'm going to talk about is war is not every man's lot. And we're going to talk about the rules to war engagement. So not every Israelite man, you know, war may not be your lot. It might not be your lot, bruh. You know what I'm saying? It's not for everybody. It ain't everybody's lot, you know. And we're going to talk about this. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 1 through 14. When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and seest horses and chariots, and a people more than thou, be not afraid of them, for the Lord thy God is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. So when you get out here and you see these FEMA troops, these UN peacekeepers, you see these KKK white supremacists mobbed up, like they did in the Purge. When you see these things going on, man, don't fear them, man. You got Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, dog. Man, you don't gotta fear them, man. Just try to keep a keen ear, man. Be quiet and trust the Lord and hear his voice, man. He might not have you go to war. He might have you, lay low. And he might have like an angel to distract, or, to distract the truth to where they won't even see you or something. Or might call something, a thunderbolt or a lightning to strike something and cause a huge explosion. And they just turn around and try to figure out what, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? There's 100,000 ways, man. The Lord got everything under control. At the end of the day, don't be afraid of them, man. Let's continue. And it shall be when ye are come nigh unto the battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto the people, and shall say unto them, Hear, O Israel, ye approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Against who? Your enemies, man. All these other nations are your enemies, boy. The only ones who, and the sad thing is, even our own brothers, 2/3 of our own people are our enemies too. But, let's continue. Let not your hearts faint, fear not, and do not tremble, neither be ye terrified because of them. For the Lord your God is he that goes with you to fight for you against your enemies and to save you. Okay, so the priests will come out right before they go to war. Okay, now let's go to verse 5. And the officers shall speak unto the people, saying, What man is there that hath built a new house, and hath not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man dedicate it. Verse 6. And what man is he that hath planted a vineyard, and hath not yet eaten of it? Let him also go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man eat of it. Verse 7. And what man is there that hath betrothed a wife, and hath not taken her? Let him go and return unto his house, lest he die in battle, and another man take her. Verse 8. And that's also a law. That's one of the laws according to the laws of Moses, man. If you just got married, took a wife, man, you couldn't go to war, because you need to pop your wife, man, and enjoy that aspect of life first. I believe it was for 2 years. I might be wrong. I probably am wrong on a time frame, but it was a time period of time where if you was a newlywed man, that you were not to go to war. You understand? Let's continue. And the officer shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, What man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Where the scary niggas at? That's basically what he's saying, man. Let him go and return unto his house, lest his brethren's heart faint as well as his heart. Because there's always that one scary dude. I don't know, man. Oh my God. Look at the horses. Look at the chariots, man. I don't know. Then that gets contagious, man. That spirit of fear. The Lord has not given us over to a spirit of fear, man. He gave us over to a sound mind, man. So we don't need to be faint-hearted, man. But if somebody's scary in the camp, he need to go. Leave, bruh. Go. Scary ass nigga, you need to go. Okay, in verse 9. And it shall be, when the officers have made an end of speaking unto the people, that they shall make captains of the armies to lead the people. And when thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. Okay? And it shall be, if it make thee answer of peace and open unto thee, then it shall be that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries unto thee, and they shall serve thee. Okay? So this is the engagements of war, y'all. Straight out the word of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. This is the engagement of war. You offer peace. You say, look, we here. You either gonna bow down or we gonna kill you. Essentially, you either gonna be at peace and accept that we about to rule over you, or we gonna put you to death. We gonna crush you. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what it was. And if they agreed, like, if they scared, like, we don't want to go to war with the Israelites, not the Hebrews, and they cop out, then, all of them shall serve you, man. And their land is your land now. Okay, let's go to verse 12. And if it will make no peace with thee, but will make war against thee, then thou shalt besiege it. And when the Lord thy God hath delivered it into thine hands, thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword. When the Lord thy God, when Yahweh has delivered it into thy hands, thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword. Are you a murderer or are you a killer? You understand? A lot of the men of the Lord were killers, man. There ain't nothing wrong with that either. Because there's a time for peace and a time for war. You understand? In this season, and our God is a God of war. Our Yahweh is a God of war. You understand? Okay? This is what you do, though. When you crush your enemies, you kill all the men. Okay? But the woman and the little ones and the cattle and all that is in the city, even the spoil thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself, and thou shalt eat the spoil of thine enemies, which the Lord thy God hath given thee. Okay? So your woman, your little kids, man, y'all gonna be servants and concubines and servants, man. Straight up. And that's the engagements of war. That's how you go to war. You know, you women, man, and the pride of these women here in America are gonna be very humble very soon, because war is coming to America, man. The woman gonna realize, man, if you ain't got a man, you're done. You're done. You're gonna just be tied up somewhere. You're gonna be somebody's concubine, man. You understand? Because that's the engagements of war. You don't get it. You see, that's something that woman can't get, because even though, you know, they about women's equality and they got women in the military and stuff like that, man, you know, they're really operating under the strength and the vibration of men. So let's say if it's a group of 10 men and one woman, she's safe because she's with 10 men. You know what I mean? Versus a group of 10 women, you're just done. You're just done at that point. You're gonna be somebody's concubine, man, or put to death. That's just what it's gonna be. You know, but you know, warfare is definitely a masculine thing. You know, that's just how it goes. You know, but that's the rules. That's the rules and engagements to war, man. Now, if just per se, let me just give y'all a little like something to envision with this. You know, it's Jacob's trouble. Okay, no water, no food. You see a group of let's just say white supremacists, because they came out during the Trump rallies. Damn it, best believe they're gonna come out when all hell breaks loose. They're gonna come out. And they're gonna, you know, get together, little mini militias, packs of 10 to 20, you know, white supremacist men, white Edomite males. And let's say they come to your neighborhood, and there's maybe 4 or 5 of you brothers, and all of you might have a hammer, pistol, rifle, whatever y'all got, shit, a knife, who knows. And you decide to not back down because y'all might have women and children. And you know that these Edomites are going to come and rape your wives and abuse your children. So you decide to go ahead and fight and be willing to die for what you have, even though the odds seem unlikely. I'm just giving y'all a scenario. And you wind up killing all of them. The Lord gives you the victory over these Edomites. Okay? And let's just say, and of course, what you're going to do, you're going to take their guns, you're going to take their ammo, you're going to take their vehicles, you're going to take everything they got. And you're going to put what? Smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword. And let's just say you knew where they came from, or you knew of their region or their origin. You would go to their neighborhood and spoil their houses, take all their food, you know, put their sons to death. If they're women, if they're not virgins, you can put them to death if you want, you know. And Moses preferred that. If you go to Numbers 31, that's something I should have went into, but Numbers 31, Moses had all the women who were not virgins put to death, and it was 32,000 virgins that were split up to be concubines. And there's even rules to that, you know, in warfare. You know, but that's pretty much how it will go down. You know, I'll just give y'all a little mental picture of this in, you know, 2019, or, you know, shit hit the fan, Jacob trouble kind of situation. But let's continue, man. When it's time to administer death, man, you better administer it, man. Okay, Jeremiah 48, verse 10. Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood, man. Yeah, when it's time for war, man, it's time to ride, man, and you with it. You know, cursed be you, man, if you run away like a little sucker, man. Cursed be you, man. When it's time to swing that sword, man, when it's time to bang, when it's time to ride, when it's time to mob, you better mob, boy, you better bang, boy, you better ride out, man. Because all of us are putting our lives on the line for each other, man. You know, in unity. and you gonna break off like a hoe, like a scary ass hoe. Cursed be you, man. You bear the curse. That's what being a coward. And a coward should not inherit the kingdom of heaven. Okay, there is an etiquette to war that is subliminally the greatest love. Let's go to John 15, verse 13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends, man. You know, so when you go into war, essentially, these are your brothers, not only your friends. You consider these men your brothers. Why? Because you're all risking each other's lives for one another, man. There's a deep love in that, man. Like real talk. Okay, now let's get to the meat and potatoes. Let's get to the meat and potatoes, baby. Times when men of the Lord have killed. This is gonna be good. I got a few examples. Okay, let's go to Father Abraham and the Gomorrans. Let's go to Genesis chapter 14, verses 10 through 16. And the vale of Siddim was full of slime. Okay, let me just tell you what happened first. There was different kings and different nations beefing. Lot and his family and his servants, they got caught in the middle of it, and they got caught as POWs to the Gomorrans. They were prisoners of wars to the Gomorrans because they got in the middle of the war that was happening between Sodom and Gomorrah and the other surrounding nations. Okay, now let's continue. Genesis chapter 14, verse 10 through 16. And the vale of Siddim was full of slime pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and they that remained fled to the mountains. So people was sinking in quicksand. You know, Sodom and Gomorrah was taking that L, man. They was getting their ass whooped, and they was falling in quicksand and slime pits. So they started running to the mountains, and they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their victuals, and they went their way. And they took Lot, Abraham's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and they departed. So they took Lot, his goods, his household, everybody. And there came one that had escaped and told Abraham the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, the brother of Aner. And these were confederate with Abraham. So Abraham was in the plains while Lot was in the city. You understand? So Lot got kidnapped. His whole household, everything they got kidnapped by the Gomorrans, man. Real stuff. That's a real thing, though. You know how scared Lot probably was? Man, they probably about to rape his wife, pop his daughters, because that's war, man. This is cutthroat. What they gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You know, these women talk a lot of smack, like, oh, if that happens, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. You ain't gonna do shit. I showed y'all clips of this stuff. This stuff happens today. Go to South Sudan, man. Go to Haiti and tell one of these blue helmet peacekeepers what you not gonna do, man. They gonna tie you up and rape the shit out you. That's just how it goes in war, man. Unfortunately, it's just that's the woman's lot in war. You know, she's a spoiled. But let's go to verse 14. And when Abraham heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants born in his house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. So somebody came and told Abraham, they got Lot, man. The Gomorrans got Lot. What did Abraham do? Did he say, well, I'll just leave it to the Lord, man. I don't want to get involved with that. You know, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not kill. I'm not going to go and kill nobody. No, man, that's not what happened. Abraham went to his servants and said, get your swords, armor up. 318 of them. 318. Abraham said, it's time to ride, man. That's what he said. Verse 15. He divided himself against them, he and his servants, by night, and smote them. And smote means to put to death. And pursued them unto Habor, which is on the left hand of Damascus. He brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot, or his nephew Lot. Because, his brother, Lot was his brother's son. So it's really his nephew. And also brought again his brother Lot, and his goods, and the women also, and the people. You understand what Abraham did, man? He put these Gomorrans to death and got his nephew back, man. For real, man. These are men of the Lord, man. The covenant, the reason why Israel it has a covenant with Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is because of Abraham. Think about that. Abraham was Yahweh Hashem Yahushua's friend. Still is. We are chosen people through Abraham. So was Abraham a murderer? Or was he a killer? And was he wrong? Or was he right? You understand? Now let's go to Levi, Simeon, and the Hivites. Okay, let's go to Genesis chapter 34, verse 1 through 16. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. Dinah was Jacob's daughter. Jacob had a daughter. I think he had a couple, but this is about Dinah. She was Jacob's daughter. So all the 12 sons of Israel, they had a sister, Dinah. Okay, let's go to verse 2. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. So Dinah got raped, man. She went out to chill with the other daughters of the land, and Shechem, he was a prince of the country. He saw her and he took her, man. He raped her. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. And he loved the damsel and spake kindly unto the damsel. So after he hit that, man, he was trying to bun her up. Okay. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, get me this damsel to wife. So he went to his father Hamor, said, I want this woman. I want her. I want her to be my wife. You set it up. Okay. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. So all Dinah's brother, Reuben, Levi, Manasseh, Judah, all the 12 brothers were in the field tending to the animals, to the cattle, when Jacob was getting this news. Okay. So Jacob held his peace until they came back. Okay. In verse 6, and Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it. And the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not be done, man. So Jacob and his sons were pissed off, man. While Hamor is trying to hook Dinah and his son up, who raped her. He's trying to get them married. He's trying to, talk to Jacob about marrying his daughter off to his son. Let's go to verse 8. And Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you give her to him to wife, and make ye marriages with us, and give us your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. And ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade ye therein, and get you possessions therein. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to wife. So Shechem is saying, whatever y'all want, because Dinah, of course, was a virgin. He popped her, so that in the culture, I should do it in a whole separate video on this, man. A woman is she's property, man. You know what I'm saying? When she in her virginity, man, if you was to pop her, man, you had to pay her father. Because you have acquired a servant, man. You acquired a helpmeet unto yourself. A pillar of rest unto yourself. When you have found a wife, you beginneth a possession. You understand? So you got to pay for that, because that's an investment to make your life easier, having that woman. So he was willing to pay the dowry of virgin. As a gift, you know what I mean? He was willing to pay up for popping Dinah. You know what I'm saying? And they was willing to trade their woman and give their woman to marriage with the nation of Israel, basically the 12 sons of Jacob. And they were saying, look, give us your daughters. Let's mingle. Let's be one. Let's be equal. Let's see what happened. In verse 13, and the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled Dinah their sister. And they said unto them, we cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters unto us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. Okay, so basically they were saying, look, if you want to get with Dinah, you gotta get circumcised, because that's how we get down. We Israel, that's one of the customs. That's a Hebrew custom, circumcision. So we're gonna continue with this. Genesis 34 verse 24 through 31. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearkened all that went out of the gate of his city, and every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males. And they slew Hamor and Shechem, his son, with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went out. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain, and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. They took their sheep, their oxen, their asses, and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field, and all their wealth, and all their little ones, and their wives took they captives, and spoiled even all that was in the house. Yeah, are y'all comprehending what I'm reading to you? Now, what did Levi and Simeon do, man? Did they say, well, I guess we should, thou shalt not kill, man. We can't do anything about this here. Maybe we should just make a pact and just get rich off of them, and take their daughters. Their women look kind of good, and we'll just give them our daughters and just be one and just love everybody, and maybe we can just nigga. They went and killed them, put them to death, man. And then took all their shit. Do you understand? And took all their women, took all their wives, that's war. That's war. You understand? That's war. That's what it is. Now I went through that. Okay, through the rules of war. You understand? Where was that? It was Leviticus, right? Let me get to it. Hold on. Where was that? I think I read it in the last video. Not to get thrown off, but it was Deuteronomy. I'm sorry, it was Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 1 through 14. We went through that. We went through what happens in war. You understand? Yeah. So they mobbed out, took all their wealth, took all their little ones, took all their wives, took all of them captives, man. You my concubine now, man. That's what it is. I'm gonna shave you bald. I'm gonna cut your nails. You're gonna take these clothes off, and I'm gonna let you cry over your husband for 30 days. Then you my bitch. You my bitch forever, unless I get rid of you. That's what it is. That's war. That's war. You understand? They picked up the sword and they swung that shit. And they mobbed out, okay? And Yahweh Hashem Yahushua was all with it. And I'm going to prove it. We're going to go to verse 30 first. And Jacob said to Simeon and to Levi, ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And I, being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house. So Jacob got scared. He's like, oh my God, what did my sons do? Jacob's like, damn, they went ham. Yo, they probably came back with like hundreds of livestock, crying women. Man, you understand how our forefathers got down? And y'all want to talk about that's Esau's sword. Man, fuck Esau, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not his sword, man. The sword belongeth to the Lord. The battle belongeth unto the Lord. It is nothing more than a tool utilized to administer death and destruction in war. That's all it is, a tool. You understand? But let's go to verse 31. And they said, should he deal with our sister as with an harlot? So when Jacob was all paranoid, like, damn, y'all just went in. You're gonna make the Canaanites and the Perizzites come against us. We're few in number. They're gonna kill us. They're gonna make war with us. But they was really scared. The Canaanites, they was terrified after that, man. Like they should be. These nations used to be terrified of us. They still are. But it's not the same type of afraid. They was afraid then because we would put their ass to death. And the Lord was with us. So when the Lord would send us to overtake nations, we took them with great violence. And even if, like I said, if you go to Numbers 31, there was times we would go to war and not one of our people would perish in war, man. Not one of our people would perish in war. You understand? Because the Lord was with us. So these other nations were terrified, man, even to this day. But let's go to, now this is where it's going to get interesting, because we're going to go to the testament of what? The 12 patriarchs, man. I haven't brought this out in a minute, but I've been reading it. And I want to read y'all something from another perspective on the same incident, Genesis 34. Okay, let's go to the Testament of Levi, chapter 2, verse 1 through 4. Okay, listen up. This is Levi, okay? Levi was born in Haran, and I came with my father to Shechem, and I was young, about 20 years of age, when with Simeon I wrought vengeance on Hamor for our sister Dinah. And when I was feeding the flocks in Abel Mall, the spirit of understanding of the Lord came upon me, and I saw all men corrupting their way, and that unrighteousness had built for itself walls, and lawlessness set upon towers. And I was grieving for the race of the sons of men, and I prayed to the Lord that I might be saved. Okay, now let's go to chapter 6, right? Turn to chapter 6. It's gonna blow your mind, dog. You're like, what? All right, chapter 6, retribution upon Shechem. From the mouth, from the hands of Levi, it is written, man. We're gonna go ahead and get it, baby. We're gonna talk about this one. So Levi was 20 years old when this happened, okay? So we're gonna read chapter 6, Testament of Levi. And when I was going to my father, I found a brazen shield, wherefore also the name of the mountain is Aspis, which is near Gebal, to the south of Abila. And I kept these words in my heart. Okay, continue. And after this, I counseled my father and Reuben my brother to bid the sons of Hamor not to be circumcised, for I was jealous because of the abomination which they had wrought against my sister. And I slew Shechem first, and Simeon slew Hamor, which was Shechem's dad, right? And after this, my brothers came and smote that city with the edge of the sword. And my father heard these things and was wroth. So Jacob was pissed. And he was grieved in that they had received the circumcision, and after that had been put to death. And in his blessing he looked amiss upon us. For we sinned because we had done this thing against his will. And he was sick on that day. So Jacob was sick. He's like, damn, I just had every male. I agreed that every male within their city be circumcised. And then on the third day, y'all went and killed these niggas while they were sore. So Jacob was like, man, I'm going to be a reproach amongst all the people. Because they're like, oh, you dirty. Y'all dirty. How y'all going to do them like that? You know, so he was afraid of how the Perizzites and Canaanites would look at him, you know. But they was really afraid of him at that point, you know. But let's continue. Let me hold back. So Levi said that he had sinned. Why? Because he disobeyed the will of his father, you know. But let's continue. But I saw that the sentence of God was for evil upon Shechem. I repeat, verse 8. But I saw that the sentence of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua was for evil upon Shechem, for they sought to do to Sarah and Rebekah as they had done to Dinah, our sister. But the Lord prevented them. And they persecuted Abraham, our father, when he was a stranger. And they vexed his flocks when they were big with young. And Eblaim, who was born in his house, they most shamefully handled. So they mishandled one of Abraham's servants, these Canaanites, okay? And thus they did to all strangers, taking away their wives by force, and they banished them. But the wrath of the Lord came upon them to the uttermost. And I said to my father Jacob, by thee will the Lord destroy the Canaanites, and will give their land to thee and to thy seed after thee. For from this day forward shall Shechem be called a city of imbeciles. For as a man mocketh a fool, so did we mock them. Because also they had wrought folly in Israel by defiling our sister. And we departed and came to Bethel. Okay? So that just gives some more insight on it. And I'm actually going to read one more part out of this book. Because the angel of the Lord told Levi to get his sword and his shield and kill these niggas, man. Let me find it real quick. There we go. It's the Testament of Levi, chapter 5. I'm gonna read it real quick, okay? Chapter 5. And thereupon the angel opened to me the gate of heaven, and I saw the holy temple and upon throne of glory the Most High. And he said to me, Levi, I have given thee the blessings of the priesthood until I come and sojourn in the midst of Israel. So Levi had the priesthood. You understand? Then the angel brought me down to earth and gave me a shield and a sword and said to me, execute vengeance on Shechem because of Dinah thy sister, and I will be with thee, because the Lord hath sent me. And I destroyed at that time the sons of Hamor, as it is written in the heavenly tablets. Okay? So the angel of the Lord came to Levi in a vision and said, man, look, when you wake up, Slim, get that sword, get that shield, and do the damn thing, man. And I'm going to be with you. I'm going to help you kill these niggas because the Lord has sent me. Yeah, these wicked ass Hamor, and Hamor, I guess he was the king of Canaan, and his son was the prince, Shechem. Yeah, they got put to death, man. Let's go ahead and read the Testament of Judah. Chapter. Oh, I didn't put the chapter in. Okay, I'm still going to try to find it. I think I know what I was looking for. Damn, I wish I put a chapter in verse 3 through 7. I might have meant chapter 3. Testament of Judah, the fourth son of Jacob and Leah. 1 second, Salakia brothers. Oh yeah, it's chapter 3. It's chapter 3, verse 3 through 7. So they went to war with the Canaanites. Okay, so Levi had the priesthood, and Judah had the headship, the kingdom on earth. So essentially, Levi had the kingdom of heaven, and Judah had the kingdom on earth. So those were the two leaders of Israel. You know, and I highly recommend the 12 Patriarchs. You need to order that book. You can get it for less than $20. It's a very good book. But let me read chapter 3 real quick, okay? And Judah, man, that's awesome, man. Reading Judah's. But I'm gonna just read y'all excerpt from it, chapter 3, and I'm gonna run it all the way to 7. And when the two kings of the Canaanites came, sheathed in armor against our flocks, and much people with them, single-handed I rushed upon the king of Hazor, and smote him on the greaves, and dragged him down. And so I slew him. And the other, the king of Tapua, as he sat upon his horse, I slew. And so I scattered all his people. Achor, the king, a man of giant stature, I found, hurling javelins before and behind, as he sat on horseback. And I took up a stone of 60 pounds weight, and I hurled it and smote his horse and killed it. And I fought with this, and I fought with this other for 2 hours. And I clave his shield in twain, and I chopped off his feet and killed him. And as I was stripping off his breastplate, behold, 9 men, his companions, began to fight with me. And I wound my garment, and I wound my garment on my hand, and I slung stones at them, and killed 4 of them, and the rest fled. This is Judah when he was in war, man. They was going to war, man. The sons of Jacob used to go to war, man. They was about it, Slim. They was all the way about it, bro. Now let's continue. And Jacob, my father, slew Beliseth, king of all the kings, a giant in strength, 12 cubits high. Okay? So even Jacob was getting some, dog. He was going to war with his sons. Judah was like the main, man. I mean, even the tribe of Gad is a warring tribe too, but the tribe of Judah is like the, man, you got to read it, y'all. I'm not going to spoil it, but I read some of it to you, but Judah used to get it in, man. I just read y'all some of the stuff he was doing when they went to war, you know. But even Jacob had killed what's his name, Beliseth. He was 12 cubits high. You know what I'm saying? I think a cubit is 1.5 feet. So 1.5 feet times 10, I believe that's 18. Something around there, 18 feet tall, man. And Jacob bodied his ass. This is war, man. Now were they out there like, oh, thou shalt not kill. Let's just be at peace with these people. No, man, it's put them to death, man. That's the point of this, man. There's a time for war and there's a time for peace, man. Straight up. That's just what it is. We coming into a time of war again. Now, I'm going to finish off with the Testament of Judah, chapter 9, because this is going to be a little spoiler. Who killed Esau, y'all? Does anybody know? Do y'all know who killed Esau? Who killed Esau? Jacob killed Esau. Yeah, see, a lot of people didn't know that, man, but that's in the Testament of Judah. It's revealed. Now I'm gonna read this to you real quick. In 18 years, this is the Testament of Judah, chapter 9. Okay? In 18 years, my father abode at peace with his brother Esau and his sons with us. After that, we came from Mesopotamia, from Laban. And when 18 years were fulfilled, in the 40th year of my life, Esau, the brother of my father, came upon us with a mighty and strong people. And Jacob smote Esau with an arrow, and he was taken up wounded on Mount Seir. And as he went, he died at Anonim. And we pursued after the sons of Esau. Now they had a city with walls of iron and gates of brass, and we cannot enter into it. And we had camped around and besieged it. And when they opened not to us in 20 days, I set up a ladder in the sight of all. And with my shield upon my head, I went up to standing the assaults of stones, upwards of 3 talents in weight. And I slew 4 of their mighty men, and Reuben and Gad slew 6 others. Then they asked from us terms of peace. And having taken counsel with our father, we received them as tributaries. That's when we had Esau under our feet, man. See, Judah, you see what I'm saying? Man, first of all, Jacob killed Esau, man, with an arrow. That's real cool. When I read that, I was like, wow, that's so enlightening, man. That's why you gotta get into these other books, man, because it solidifies the Bible as well. It goes hand in hand, man. You know, you read it all. You got to read it. Now, I'm going to say read it all, because some of these books are completely off. But, you know, you definitely want to do some reading, because Esau did a very good job of separating these books, man, to try to give his own personal doctrine of Christianity, man, which is a false doctrine, false philosophy. But, yeah, man, Jacob killed Esau and Judah and his brothers, Gad, you know, Simeon, all of them, man. It went to war with the Edomites. And the Edomites tapped out and wanted peace, man. You know, was they saying, let's not use Esau's sword? Nah, man. They said, fuck Esau, man. They said, nah, let's go to war with these dudes. They camped out outside of their hood, outside of Mount Seir for 20 days. And Judah said, man, I'm tired of waiting out here. We not flexing. We not faking. I'm about to climb their gate. And we going to besiege them, and we going to kill these dudes. We going to kill them. That's how Judah was going. He climbed up the ladder with a shield over his head, and they was throwing stones at him. 3 talents. Was throwing rocks and stones trying to knock him off the ladder. Jacob made it to the top of the ladder and slew 4 of them. And his brothers killed 6 more. I think Reuben and Gad, I think it was, he said. I might be wrong, but I just read it to y'all. You know, and then they tried to seek peace because they knew it was over. Their strongest man just got bodied. But, you know, and then Esau had died. So they lost their progenitor, man. You know, but that was real interesting, man. Just giving some examples. Let's go to Moses and the Egyptian. We all know this story. Exodus. Now, we're going back to the Bible now. Exodus chapter 2, verse 11 through 15. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens. And he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way and looked that way. And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said to him that did the wrong, Wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? And he said, Who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me as thou killedest the Egyptian? And Moses feared and said, Surely this thing is known. So that's a 2/3 nigger for you. So Moses saw an Egyptian. That show you how Israel has always been off, man. Our people always been retarded, man. So Moses saw an Egyptian smiting, abusing a fellow Hebrew, man. And Moses looked to the left and looked to the right and killed that nigga, killed him. Well, killed that Egyptian, got him up out of there, man. Bodied him, buried him in the sand, you know. And it was in righteousness' sake, man. Did he murder him or did he kill him? See, that's what this is about, man. Drawing that line in the sand, man. And using your discernment and judgment and all righteousness. You know what I'm saying? And really thinking about this and meditating on this. That's what I want y'all to do, is to think, reconsider, and meditate, man. Especially in the season we're coming in. But to get back in topic, you know, Moses bodied the Egyptian. And then Moses was walking and saw 2 Israelites. He saw 2 Hebrews beefing. One of them probably stole off on the other one, and Moses came up like trying to break it up. Like, come on, because why? They're brothers. We're not supposed to fight amongst each other, man. We're brothers, man. We're not supposed to go to war amongst each other, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the line I'm trying to. That's the line I'm trying to. The point I'm trying to make. But Moses went up to them and was asking them like, "Yo, why y'all beefing? What's the problem?" And one of them said, "Who made thee a judge over us?" You know, a typical 2/3 nigga reply. He said, "Who made thee judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me as thou hast killed the Egyptian?" So in layman's terms, just like, nigga, who is you? But you gonna kill me like you killed that Egyptian over there? Like, yeah, I'll snitch on you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? like, you know what I mean? So Moses got scared, you know, and he fled. Now when Pharaoh heard, and we're going to go to verse 15. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses, but Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian. And he sat down by a well, okay? So let's go to Samson and 1,000 Philistines. Let's go to Judges chapter 15, verse 11 through 20. Then 3,000 men of Judah went to the top of the rock Edom and said to Samson, "Knowest thou not that the Philistines are rulers over us? What is this that thou hast done unto us?" And he said unto them, "As they did unto me, so I have done unto them." Because the Philistines carried him. This girl, okay, so this girl, his wife, was actually his wife, man. Her father basically traded his wife off. You know what I'm saying? And Samson got real mad. So Samson tied a bunch of foxes together and lit fire to their tails and then threw them in the field. So they burnt up all the crops and stuff like that. So now they're coming. So, when they found out it was Samson who did it, then the Philistines went and killed his wife and the father, burnt their house while they was in there. Because they was pissed off, like, man, y'all done pissed off this Samson guy. So they killed the father, you know what I'm saying, and his wife, and killed everybody. So Samson, I believe he slew a couple thousand of them, and then he fled and went to a mountain. He was chilling in the cave, and that's where we're at right now, where 3,000 men of Judah went up there and to get Samson to turn him into the Philistines. Okay, and he said unto them, okay, let's go to verse 12. And they said unto him, "We are come down to bind thee, that we may deliver thee into the hand of the Philistines." And Samson said unto them, "Swear unto me that you will not fall upon me yourselves." So Samson said, "Look, as long as you promise me, y'all not gonna, you know what I'm saying, try to put me to death yourselves." You know what I'm saying? In verse 13, and they spake unto him, saying, "No, but we will bind thee fast and deliver thee into their hand, but surely we will not kill thee." And they bound him with 2 new cords and brought him up from the rock. And when he came unto Elahi, the Philistines shouted against him, and the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and the cords that were upon his arms became as flax that was burnt with fire, and his bands loosed from off his hands. And he found a new jawbone of an ass, and put forth his hand and took it, and slew 1,000 men therewith. And Samson said, with the jawbone of an ass, heaps upon heaps, with the jawbone of an ass, I have slain 1,000 men. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking, that he cast away the jawbone out of his hand, and called that place Ramath Lehi. And he was sore athirst, and called on the Lord, said, "Thou hast given this great deliverance into the hand of thy servant, and now shall I die of thirst, and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised?" But Yahweh Hashem Yahushai clave a hollow place that was in the jaw, and there came water thereout. And when he had drunk, his spirit came again, and he revived. Therefore he called the name thereof Enhakkor, which is in Lehi to this day. And he judged Israel in the days of the Philistines 20 years. So that shows, man, Samson was created just to slaughter Philistines, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. But did he say, I'm just going to turn the other cheek? Hey, I don't want to use Esau's sword. I don't want to, thou shalt not kill. Nah, man, he put them Gentiles to death, man. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, man. It was the will of the Lord, man. Period. Why? Because the nation of Israel, Yasharala, man, we are the sword of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You understand? We are the battle axe of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay? Now let's go to Elijah and the 450 Baal priest. Yeah, Elijah even got him, son. Yeah, Elijah even got him, son, man. Put 450 Baal priests to death, man. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 18, 35 through 40. Okay. And the water ran about the altar, and he filled the trench also with water. And it came to pass at the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice that Elijah the prophet came near and said, Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, let it be known this day that thou art the God of Israel, and that I am thy servant, and that I have done all these things at thy word. Hear me, O Lord, hear me, that this people may know that thou art the Lord God, and that thou hast turned their heart back again. Then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice and the wood and the stones and the dust, and licked up the water that was in the trench. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces, and they said, the Lord, he is the God, the Lord he is the God. And Elijah said unto them, take the prophets of Baal, let not one of them escape. And they took them, and Elijah brought them down to the brook Kishon and slew them there. It was 450 of them, y'all. I should have put that verse where it said how many of the Baal priests it was. But basically, they had like a showdown, man. You know, so the Baal priests had their little sacrifice, and then Elijah had his. And Elijah had his animal sacrifice. He had people douse it in water and made a trench around it. And so it was like mad water. He doused it in water, man. And then the fire of the Lord, man, consumed it. That's how our people used to sacrifice in the days of ancient. It was something to see, man. The heavens will open up, and the spirit of the Lord, which is what? A consuming fire, would come and just devour, just burn up the whole sacrifice. You know, you could physically see it. You know what I'm saying? So they saw it. And of course, the Baal priests, their sacrifice, nothing happened to it. And Elijah, 450 of them, he put them to death. He slew them. He slew them, man. Was he a murderer, or was he a killer? And was it for righteousness, or was it for wickedness? That's the question you got to ask yourself, man. And we're coming into a time of war. This is a time of war. Babylon, America, that war about to be on this soil, man. Esau going to ride out, man. He going to. How are you going to act? Where's your heart at? You know what I'm saying? Of course, we all hope for the spiritual power, you know, that we may be counted worthy to be one of the 144,000 elect. But I don't want to say regardless, because we do got to walk by faith, man. And you know, you may be of the elect, but you don't know exactly when the Lord is going to seal you exactly to the moment. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, you still got to, you know, we're in the third dimension. We're here, man. Are you going to lay down and die? Some of us are going to be martyrs. That might be the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai for some of us to go out in that way. But also, the sister Lisa Cabrera, man, I love that sister, man. But not to get off topic, I get notifications whenever y'all be uploading videos, man. But also, man, like I said, we are the sword of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, and I'm proving it. Let's go to King David and Goliath, and we're going to fight again, man. Zechariah chapter 14, after it talks about the plague that shall befall the nations, how their eyes shall basically melt in their sockets, and how the tongues should melt in the mouths, basically the result of nuclear thermal heat. And then there should be a great insurrection amongst everybody left, man, and everybody should go to war with one another. And it says, even then Judah shall fight. So Israel's going to fight. And then we go to Ezekiel 25:14. We're going to fight. So, you know, we're going to swing swords. We're going to bust these hammers. We're going to, you know, even 2/3. Some of these 2/3 are going to fight. The Lord's going to put our backs against the wall to where we're going to have to. You see what I'm saying? And are y'all brothers getting ready? You know what I'm saying? I mean, granted, you want to be ready spiritually, of course. But even on a carnal level, because we're in a carnal realm, are you getting ready? I don't know about you, but I have 3 kids and a wife, dog. Nobody's going to, you know, I'm not going to allow an Edomite or anybody to run in my house and overtake me and rape my daughters and rape my wife. I'm sorry. I'm going to grab my sword and I'm going to kill your ass. That's just me personally. And overall, it's really the Lord delivering you into my hands. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm boasting, you know, but it's just the truth, man. It's like, come on, man. You know, this been on my heart for about 2 years, and I finally made a nice long study on it, but we only got about 10 more minutes on this, but we're almost there. We got a couple more examples. King David, we're going to do a couple for him. Let's go to King David and Goliath. We all know this story. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 49 through 50. And David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone and slang it and smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sunk into his forehead. He fell upon his face to the earth. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him. But there was no sword in the hand of David. You understand? Okay, this is going to be an interesting one right here. King David kills 18,000. This is going to be an interesting one. Okay, let's go to 2 Samuel, chapter 8, verse 13 through 15. Okay, and David got him a name when he returned from smiting of the Syrians in the valley of Salt, being 18,000 men. So King David alone, one man, killed 18,000 men. And I'm gonna continue. But I'm going to point something out that you might not have noticed. And he put garrisons in Edom. Key word. Okay, 14 is a key. And he put garrisons in Edom. Throughout all Edom put he garrisons. And all they of Edom became David's servants. And the Lord preserved David whithersoever he went. And David reigned over all Israel. And David executed judgment and justice unto his people. Okay, so what I want to point out here is how tricky and crafty Esau is, because at verse 13, when it says, and David got him a name when he returned from smiting of the Syrians in the valley of Salt, being 18,000, those are really Edomites. David killed 18,000 Edomites, because now I'm gonna let y'all do this. Better yet, I'll do it. 2 Samuel chapter 8:13. I'm gonna prove it. This is how crafty this devil is, man. Yeah, that's going to be another study right there. That's coming. Eight, 13. Check this out. Watch this. I read the King James Version. Now look, let's go to the NIV. And David became famous after he returned from striking down 18,000 Edomites in the valley of Salt. It's only in the King James Version that it says Syrian. I noticed that. Let me see. Maybe Bible Hub will show all the different. Yeah. So let's go to the new. I just read the NIV. Let's go to the New Living Translation. So David became even more famous when he returned from destroying 18,000 Edomites in the Valley of Salt. English Standard Version. 18,000 Edomites. Berean. 18,000 Edomites. Y'all get where I'm going? But when you go to the King James, and David got him a name when he returned from smiting of the Syrians. See, that's that shit Esau be doing. Esau salty, man. These Edomites are salty, dog. You see what they be doing? Yeah, we all know the NIV. I mean, the Bible's really butchered in general. And what I mean by that, because we all know the NIV is not really a good version. I read the King James. You know what I'm saying? But the Spirit will lead you to what is false, man. Like, you gotta have the Spirit, man, to guide you through this stuff, man, because it will reveal to you some things, dog, that you might not catch. The NIV, there's scriptures in there that's been removed completely. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't read it. But I happened to notice that when I was building this lesson. I was like, so why does it talk about the Syrians, but then verse 14 talks about Edom? And then I looked at the other translations, and then all the other translations said Edomites. So basically, yeah, King David was an Edomite killing machine. He was killing them crackers. King David was slaying those Edomites. Yes, indeed. 18,000 of them at one time. Let's go to King David kills the messenger. Okay. 2 Samuel 4 verse 10. When one told me, saying, behold, Saul is dead, thinking to have brought good tidings, I took hold of him and slew him in Ziklag, and who thought that I would have given him a reward for his tidings. So I'm going to tell the story, and I'm going to read it to you, 2 Samuel chapter 1. So basically what happened was, this is when King Saul and his son Jonathan, who was King David's best friend, you know what I'm saying? They went to war. Jonathan went with his father Saul, and they went to war, and they lost that war horribly. And King Saul told his armor bearer to kill him. And the armor bearer's like, hell no, I ain't killing you. You the king. You know what I'm saying? So Saul put his sword in the ground and fell upon it himself. And then his armor bearer saw him do that, commit suicide. So the armor bearer killed himself. And basically they lost that war, and they beheaded King Saul and his sons and paraded them in their country. And basically, like a messenger who came across King Saul and his sons, he took some of their garments and brought them to David. And he was like basically bringing good tidings, like trying to bring the bad news. But, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. But he went up there to King David and was like, well, at the time, David wasn't king yet. But he went up there to David like, David, your king has perished. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to read that to y'all. And David put him to death, man. David, cutthroat, Slim. You know what I'm saying? We sucker free, man. I love that sucker free shit, man. We sucker free, man. King David was sucker free, man. He had a heart after Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. Was he a murderer? Now he did just go off when he killed Bathsheba's husband. That was murder. It was premeditated the way he did it, man. And it was wicked. He was punished for that. The whole land of Israel was punished for that, actually. That was a great sin. But he was punished for that. He was punished, and the land was punished, for that, because he had gone off. But overall, King David was a great and mighty man, and he's going to rule over us again. Pertaining to the book of Jeremiah, he's going to be risen up again, man. And he's going to be our king again. So, from judging the season, the times we're in, it wouldn't be too far reach to say that King David might be here now. You just might not know who he is. You know what I mean? But he's going to be risen. He might be here now. We're in them last days, man. We're in them last moments, dog. But he's going to be risen up, man. And we're going to serve King David, man. And Yahweh Shai. But we're going to have a kingdom. And we're going to put all these other nations in captivity. I got videos on that. People can not like it, but it doesn't really matter. It's the truth. Let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 1, verse 3 through 18. We're going to talk about what happened with this messenger. And David said unto him, from whence comest thou? And he said unto him, out of the camp of Israel am I escaped. And David said unto him, how went the matter? I pray thee, tell me. And he answered, that the people are fled from the battle, and many of the people are also fallen and dead. And Saul and Jonathan his son are dead also. And David said unto the young man that told him, how knowest thou that Saul and Jonathan his son be dead? And the young man that told him said, as I happened by chance upon Mount Gilboa, behold, Saul leaned upon his spear, and lo, the chariots and horsemen followed hard after him. And when he looked behind him, he saw me and called unto me. And I answered, here I am. And he said unto me, who art thou? And I answered him, I am an Amalekite. And he said unto me again, stand, I pray thee, upon me, and slay me, for anguish has come upon me, because my life is yet whole in me. So Saul was saying, Slim, kill me. Please kill me. Because Saul was about to take that L. And he didn't want to die at the hands. Well, I guess he was dying at the hands of an Amalekite, but and keep in mind, this Amalekite is an Edomite. You know what I'm saying? So King David was an Edomite slayer. He ain't give a damn, Slim. The Amalekite was an Edomite. Because Amalek was the son of Eliphaz, Eliphaz being the son of Esau. So yeah, buddy, straight up Edomites. So I stood upon him and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after that he was fallen. And I took the crown that was upon his head and the bracelet that was on his arm, and had brought them hither unto my Lord. So basically, Saul leaned upon his spear, but then the chariots of the enemies came upon him. So Saul was still alive. He was bleeding out, but he was still alive. And he asked this Amalekite guy, who's talking to King David now, to finish the job. You know what I'm saying? To finish him off. And and I read verse 10, basically what happened. So he took the crown that was upon his head and the bracelet that was on his arm, and had brought them hither unto my Lord. Then David took hold of his clothes and rent them, and likewise all the men that were with him. And they mourned and wept and fasted until even, for Saul and for Jonathan his son, and for the people of the Lord, and for the house of Israel, because they were fallen by the sword. And David said unto the young man that told him, whence art thou? And he answered, I am the son of a stranger, an Amalekite. And David said unto him, how wast thou not afraid to stretch forth thy hand to destroy the Lord's anointed? So David's like, how you got the gall to stretch forth your hand and finish King Saul off? How do you even got the balls to do that, son? So verse 15, and David called one of the young men and said, go near and fall upon him. And he smote him that he died. Oh man, David used to go hard, man. David called to one of his, I guess one of the other soldiers, said, man, go kill that cracker, man. Go kill that Amalekite, man. Put him to death. He just put him to death immediately. And David said unto him, thy blood be upon thy head, for thy mouth has testified against thee, saying, I have slain the Lord's anointed. And that gives me in the spirit, I can't think of the verse in the book that is in, but it said that the Lord make their tongues fall upon themselves. That's exactly what happened. And it's happening again now with Esau, man. But let's continue. And David lamented with his lamentation over Saul and over Jonathan his son. Also he bade them teach the children of Judah the use of the bow. Behold, it is written in the book of Jasher. Yes, indeed. Yeah, man. So David said, look, y'all need to learn. Y'all need to learn how to use these utensils of warfare. You know, the modern day bow and arrow, I said in another video, is nothing but a rifle. You know, instead of having a force of pressure between a bow and an arrow, you have a chemical reaction between a hammer, primer strike, and a bullet and gunpowder. Same thing, you know, just 21st century. You know, granted, it's a form of a sword, being that the sword is symbolic for a tool of destruction, you know. But, yeah, man, we had them Edomites in chat, man. David was an Edomite slayer, man. David ain't play. King David ain't play, man. Malak was getting down. Now let's go to the story of the angel of the Lord kills 185 Assyrians. Yes, even the angels be getting it in, bro. Even the angels get it in on these 2/3 and these heathens. They get it in on y'all, man. That's how they move. That's how these angels move. Now let's go to 2 Kings chapter 19, verse 30 through 35. And the remnant that escaped of the house of Judah shall yet again take root downward and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant, and they that escape out of Mount Zion, the zeal of the Lord of hosts shall do this. Therefore thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, he shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shield, nor cast a bank against it. You understand? That's why you don't need to be afraid, man, because the Lord can do this. He's going to do. Who say he don't do this again? You understand? But let's continue. By the way that he came, in Salakia, verse 33. By the way that he came, by the same shall he return, and shall not come into the city, saith the Lord. For I will defend this city to save it for mine own sake and for my servant David's sake. And it came to pass that night that the angel of the Lord went out and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses, man. Woo, dog. You see how Yahweh Shah protects his children, man? That's why you don't gotta fear, man. He sent the angel of the Lord to kill 185,000. Dog, think about it. 185,000 Assyrians got put to death by an angel in the middle of the night, dog. It was no one to fight. It was no war. It was over. Now let's go to so even these angels be breaking them off, man. Let's go to how Peter smite the servant at John chapter 18, verse 10 through 11. Then Simon Peter, having a sword, drew it and smote the high priest's servant and cut off his right ear. The servant's name was Malchus. Then said Yahushua to Peter, put up thy sword into the sheath. The cup which my Father hath given me, shall I not drink it? Okay. So even the disciples rock with their swords, man. You should. Why wouldn't you? You understand? And you know what Peter did was, like, you know, let's say you with your homeboy, right? Y'all sit in the living room and the police come to the door and they come to arrest your mans for something that you know he did nothing wrong, and you pull the strap on the police and shoot the police or something. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just on that level. Even though, you know, he smote the servant's ear of the high priest. But I'm just saying, just for example, he rocked out for his friend. He rocked out for his master, his teacher, for Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. And the Lord told him, the Lord healed the servant, but the Lord told him he had to drink the cup that his father has given him. The Lord knew that he needed to be crucified. That there might be forgiveness and repentance for sins, that we might have a kingdom, man, But, for now, we must wait on the Lord, man. We're going to go ahead and end this. We're going to go, I'm about to wrap it up. This is some closure. For now, we must wait on the Lord, Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. Therefore, wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the parade. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy, man. Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12 through 14. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem, all these Gentiles. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. That's that thermonuclear heat, and it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them. So the Lord's going to put a spirit of confusion and war in the land. And they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. So the Lord's going to put that spirit of war out here, man. People are going to freak out after these missiles drop. People are going to freak out, man. And Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together, gold and silver and apparel in great abundance. So what you got to understand is that this time Judah still scattered. So when it talks about Jerusalem, it's talking about wherever Judah is, because Jerusalem is a people before it is a place. Do you understand? So we're a scattered remnant, and it's written in, I wish I would have grabbed it when it says, I don't want to butcher it. Basically, we'll be like a young lion amongst in the jungle amongst sheep, man. We're just gonna tear through. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. And we're gonna be as a dew amongst the Gentiles. Yeah. So we're gonna fight too. Yeah, we're gonna fight too. So we're going to get it in too. You know what I'm saying? So we can go to Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 13 through 14. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beasts from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. The tabernacles of Esau. Teman being one of the sons of Esau. Verse 14, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord God, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. Yes, sir. We are going to get our hands dirty. Ezekiel 25, verse 14 goes hand in hand with Zechariah 14:14. we about to get them, man. It's a time for war. We about to come right back into that time of war. But who's going to fight? And who's going to sit in the background scared? A coward should not inherit the kingdom of heaven, man. Period. Can't be cowardly, dog. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 40. O my people, will hear my word. Make you ready to that battle. And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth, man. Make you ready for the battle, man, because there's going to be war everywhere, man. It's going to be like crazy out here, man. When this economy crashes, when they start implementing this RFID, we might have to flee into the mountains or to the wilderness and live as pilgrims. Do you really want to be out there without a pistol? I'm just saying. Think about it. Would you, if you didn't have to be, if it was within your power to have something on you? Get a little 22, man. You can carry a lot of ammo off 22. I'm just saying in general, man. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm taking it literal. Maybe I'm in ignorance, but I'm just saying what makes sense to me, And I just read you all these stories of instances where men of the Lord had to, drop their nuts, essentially. That's going to be a time where every now and then you might have to drop your nuts, man. In that day, you may have to put some people to death, unfortunately. But like I said, it's a time for peace and it's a time for war. It's written in the book of Ecclesiastes. Okay? But let me read that again. We're going to run through it. 2nd Ezra 16:40. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready for thy battle. And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Why? Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Why? Why is that going to happen? Why is that going to happen, Raw? Why? Revelations 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time. Why does, so I'm trying to link this up. So why? 2nd Esdras verse 6-9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Y'all see how I'm linking this up to it all answers each other? 5%, but we're almost done, man. You know, so get you a sword, man. Be ready for the battle, and be ready to be as pilgrims upon the earth, man. Be ready for your maybe your wife and your children to get chips in them. You know, because even Paul said it'll be as though we even though we have wives, it may come a time where it'll be as though we have none. You know, you never know, man. But the Lord said he come to bring the division. You know, people are going to be divided, and the Lord is separating people now, man. You know, but there shall be in every city insurrections upon those who fear the Lord. That's why you're going to have to be prepared for the battle and live as pilgrims upon the earth. And why is there going to be a great insurrection upon those who fear the Lord? Because Ha-Shatan is coming down with great wrath, because him and his demons and left-hand angels, they know their ending will be in the lake of fire. And they know in this season, following their great wrath, will come Yahweh HaMashiach to, make war against the nations, and to bring on the white throne judgment, and to bring on the resurrection, and to bring on the kingdom, man, for Yasharallah. You understand? But who is the counterpart of Ha-Shatan? That is Esau. So also Esau is going to be used as the physical vessel to bring this great wrath, to put people in FEMA camps, to do forced RFID implementations, to cut your head off if you don't want to do it, to, you know what I'm saying? So all this is going to be going on, man. Okay? And why is Ha-Shatan and Esau, through Esau being a physical counterpart, why are they going to be coming down with great wrath? Because his kingdom is ending, man. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And we got next, and our turn is forever. It's not going to end. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Jeremiah 30 verse 7. Alas, for the day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So the Lord's going to deliver us out of it, man. Let's go to Isaiah 59 verse 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. So the elect is going to get that power, man. Okay? We won't have that power, man. Let's go to Jeremiah. I'm wrapping it up. We're about there, man. Jeremiah chapter 30 verse 8 through 11. For it shall come to pass in that day. Okay? But in what day? Jacob's trouble. Save the Lord. Because what? It links up, even though I put Isaiah 59:19 in between, but Jeremiah 37, okay, where he should be saved out of it, Jacob's trouble. We're going to continue with 30 verse 8 through 11. For it shall come to pass in that day, save the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck. Whose yoke? Esau's yoke. These Gentiles' yoke. And will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. Because guess what? During Jacob's trouble, when all hell breaks loose, you're not gonna be worried about going to work to punch a clock. You're not gonna, the mailman ain't gonna have to deliver mail no more. The truck driver ain't gonna have to drive the truck no more. The laborer is not gonna have to labor no more. It's gonna be about survival. You understand? And staying in the presence of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, that you might be saved and protected in that time. Okay? But verse 9, let's continue. But they shall serve the Lord their God, and David their king, whom I will rise up unto them. Therefore, fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord, neither be dismayed, O Israel. For lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. For I am with thee, saith the Lord, to save thee, though I make a full end of all nations, whither I have scattered thee. The Lord's gonna make a full end of all these nations, man. That's why some guys we gotta leave America. Why? He's gonna destroy all these nations, man. There's no running away from it. Tribulation is gonna overtake the world. You understand? But the Lord said, yet I will not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure. and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. Why won't the Lord leave us altogether unpunished? Because 2/3 gotta get burnt, man. Zechariah 13:8. That's why it says, that's what it means by, he will not leave us altogether unpunished, because 2/3 of our people are going to die. 2/3 of our people are not going to make it. Just got the 1/3 and the elect 144,000. Everyone else is going to have to be regenerated. You understand? I did a video on regeneration. But the Lord's going to save us. So we need Jacob's trouble to come. We need all these things to fall apart, because it's going to bring us closer to the kingdom. Let's go to Psalms 58, verse 10. The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked, man. We're going to be bathing our feet in the blood of the wicked, man. So that means a lot of death, a lot of death and killing is going to be administered. You understand? The Lord is going to bathe his sword, man. But let's go to Psalms 149, 4-9. For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of God be in their mouths, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen, and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains, and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord. All the saints are the 144,000 elect. So when we get sealed, man, even the elect, we're going to be putting people to death, man, and binding these people to get ready for their captivity, because he who leadeth in captivity must go into captivity. And I did a video on this. All these nations are going into captivity and servitude, man. And all those who will not serve, okay, I'm not even going to say it, because I'm going to end it with that. But let's continue. Jeremiah 51, 19-20. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee I will break in pieces the nations, and with thee I will destroy kingdoms. So the Lord is going to use the elect men of Yasharallah. You understand? So there's going to be a time for what? Because when we're breaking kingdoms and nations, what's that? That a time of peace? No, it's a time of war, man. You understand? We're going to close it out with Luke chapter 19, verse 27. But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. And that's what it's going to be, man. In the millennial kingdom, what's to come when we rule again. If you ain't with it, you're going to die, man. So, it is what it is. We're going to rule. It's going to be a lot of bloodshed. It's going to be a lot of war. It's going to be a lot of heartbreak. It's going to be a lot of things that we're about to come into. But that's pretty much a lesson, man. I broke it down in 2 parts to try to make it a little bit more bearing, so it won't be too overbearing, excuse me, So, hopefully this was very edifying for you. And thank you all for supporting the channel and watching. Hopefully this was edifying. I pray that this stuff interests you, because it takes me a long time to build these lessons, and I know all these brothers who create content. I know that a lot of these brothers be on fire. Y'all be dropping it like boom, 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 videos back to back. I'm like, damn, they on fire, but it can be laborsome and very, burdensome, but that's what we want to do. That's our dues in this truth, man, for the Lord. We do it for the Lord and try to bring understanding to the house of Yasharallah, man, to the elect, man, because one day it ain't going to be no YouTube. One day we're not going to be in these corners, One day we're not going to talk about this kind of stuff. You either get it or you don't get it. Like the Washington Post, You better get it now. Get it while the getting's good, because the mouths of the prophets are eventually going to be shut. And if you don't got this understanding, then you're going to be short. But hopefully this is an edifying message, man. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it short. Well, this video was all but short. But shalom to all the brothers and sisters. And Yahweh Shai made. Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Barakatam. To all my brothers and sisters, much blessings to you all. And I'm going to keep y'all in prayer. Definitely pray for the man. Pray for the brother. Got a lot of things going on. But definitely pray for me as I keep y'all in prayer. Indeed. Shalom.